Now, the arduous process of identifying bodies burnt beyond recognition in the Johannesburg fire has begun. And meanwhile, some survivors wait outside the building on Albert Street, hoping to salvage some of their belongings. And the fear of deportation is also hampering efforts to move victims to shelters around the city. We have Aviwe Mtila, who is monitoring the latest developments. Aviwe, good afternoon to you, and thank you so much for joining us. Such a tragic event, and I suppose it's something that will stay with South Africans for a very long time. But those who are directly affected now having to go through this double trauma of identifying the bodies of their loved ones. Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, Cindy. And it's not only South Africans. I'm in Frederick Street, which is literally a street away from the building. I am with hundreds of Malawians, some of them being able to identify their family members successfully. You remember that we were told yesterday that out of the 76 that perished in that fire, there is 12 that was identifiable, but it's the families that had to go to the mortuary and get that process underway. Some of them have successfully identified their family members here, but they've been having struggles, Cindy. I'm told that the people that you see here have been out from the early hours of the morning. There were issues of permits and official communication from the Malawian embassy that needed to happen, but it seems now they've got those letters, but I want to bring in a family that lost 5 family members, and I understand was able to identify all 5, assuming that it's from the 12. I'll bring in Richard Bula. Thank you for joining us at eNCA. Richard, it's been a tragic experience for your family. Firstly, how are you doing? Maybe take us through the process of identifying your family members and get us up to speed on where that process is.
Yeah, yesterday we was in the mortuary make around looking all our families. Then we found 5 of them also was not needing any DNA because we know them that this is our family. Then, yeah, we was also on the process to looking at the papers for the embassy so that we're going to bury it today in the Muslim way.
Okay, yes. So you have to do the Muslim rites,
yes.
The burial today. I understand
yes.
That means that by sunset this evening, you will have to have laid your family to rest. But maybe bring us up to speed. I know your family, you've lost 5 members,
yes.
But the Malawian community that we see here, how many have you been successful in identifying? You were at the mortuary yesterday with some of your countrymen.
Yeah, identified them also 5 of them there. Also, we got also the neighbors for the country where we are come from at home. Also, we see them 2 of them. It means we got 5 plus 2, which is 7. Okay. Also, which is we're going to bury today.
Okay, so it's 7 Malawians that need to be laid.
Yeah, 7 the Malawians we're going to bury today.
Okay, 7 Malawians that needs to be laid to rest. You mentioned the issue of the embassy. Maybe tell us what was the issue and where you are now with the burial preparations.
Now we are nearest the place where the scene is happening, which is also where we are staying there. But also all the friends and family, we are together to the same place, waiting to get the transport to go to the mortuary, to the graveyard where we're going to bury our parents, our people. Then now we got the problem here, my man. We got no transport. The people, they stay in the sun here. There's no any shelter. There's no water. There's no toilet. Also, we got the small children who are here also. They're suffering here. But now my tears are just crying. Okay, maybe if we manage to bury these people, maybe I think my stress is going to be released. Also, other people who are here also, their stress is going to be released. Because their attention, they want to bury their loved ones.
Okay, so you want to bury your loved ones, but you say there are challenges with transport. What's standing in the way of you and the Malawian community laying your loved ones to rest today?
The transport. That is the big problem with the transport, because also the government doesn't supporting us here. Since we are here, we didn't see any support.
So you need transport.
We need the transport. We need the water. And also to these people who are sleeping here, they got no shelter. Since also another one they stay around in town, they are working around in town. If they go to stay far, then they're going to lose their job. They got anything. Since they lost their building there, it's burned everything. Now they got where to sleep. They got no place where they're going to sleep. They got nothing to eat. Now also now they're sleeping out. look to save their job so that they can go to the shop, so that they can work there, so that tomorrow they can manage to eat something.
Okay, so these are the people that were reluctant to go to the shelters, but they're here now.
Yeah, now they are here. All of these people, what you are seeing here, is the people who were staying there. Now they are suffering. This is the people who survived to the fire that side.
Okay, but now they didn't sleep at the shelters. Where are they staying, maybe accommodation-wise?
Another one, they go to ask the friend, another friend, another one, they're just sleeping out. But when morning we was here, I found 3 of them, they're sleeping out here without the blanket, just sleeping. You see, something like they got no any relative here. They are suffering, really suffering.
Okay, but the biggest challenge now is transportation to take everyone that's here and go to Lenasia, understand where you are to bury your 7 loved ones from Malawi.
Yes, that is correct. But also I got a problem because when I look on TV, I see that the EFF to provide something. eNCA also put something on the table. But now here, we are still looking here to each other, which is the people who doesn't even having 1 rand today. Their things is burning to that freight. But now they are looking 2 rand to manage to get the transport. No, I'm crying too much, my brother. Even now, I don't know where to go.
Okay, a family relative that lost 5 loved ones from Malawi, but we do know the official number of those that have been identified successfully, which didn't need any DNA. 7 people have been identified from Malawi. The struggle now is taking these loved ones now and being able to go to the cemetery where they can officially perform the Muslim rites, which dictates that by sunset this evening, the 7 loved ones need to be laid to rest.
Aviwe, we also heard from the city in terms of the interventions to provide alternative accommodation. You raised this with the relative Richard earlier to say why is it that they're not taking that option, which is probably the only best solution at the moment for them to be accommodated as opposed to being exposed to the elements out in the street.
Cindy, it's one of those issues that I was covering extensively yesterday into the late evening, where even the social development minister was on the ground here trying to convince some of these very Malawans to go to the numerous shelters that have been provided. The 2 basic answers that you get as to why they don't want to go there is, firstly, they still want to recover some of their belongings that are still in in that very building that was burnt. But it was clearly covered by the social development minister that won't be possible. Not even police are allowed inside. It's only the engineers at the stage that are allowed inside. The second issue, and more so the biggest bone of contention, is the fear of being deported back to Malawi. They fear that without their documentations, and some claiming that those passports actually burnt in the building itself, they fear once they arrive at those very shelters, they're going to be deported back to Malawi. But of course, government has tried their best to put them at ease, saying that that's not the main focus now, and the focus is just getting shelter to these Malawians and ensuring that they've got food, blankets, and just the basic necessities at this stage.
All right, we're going to have to leave it there. That is Aviwe Mtila, eNCA reporter out in the CBD, where a tragic fire occurred and gutted a building and led to the death of over 76 people, from what we hear from authorities, with 12 of those being minors. Really tragic and sad development in that story.